Good day again. This is the ring with Dida, and I hope you guys are good. You know, a show that packs a punch, a show that gives you yesterday's history of boxing and tomorrow's future of boxing. We are in South Africa, and today I decided to start it from the beginning, from development level, and I'm with Dylan Mestre. He's an amateur boxer. Uh, who actually refused to turn pro because he believes he's not experienced enough. Dylan, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Dylan, tell us about why didn't you want to turn pro in 2026?
Okay, so I feel like in the amateur scene, I mean, I've been doing amateurs for almost 8 to 9 years now, and I've only had about 8 or 9 fights, I think, around there. Eight to
In nine
nine
years?
in 9 years of amateur boxing, and the thing is, I feel like we don't get enough fights. Where in like overseas, the amateurs they fight like 3 to 4 fights in 1 month, where I've been fighting 1 to 2 fights every year, and most of my fights, I've only had 3 amateur fights that was not at the championships. All the other fights I've had only because I was at championships and there were other boxes. But except from that, I don't get amateur fights at all.
So,
And
so when you say at the championships, meaning you are because there's categories in amateurs, in Sanabo amateurs. There's blue, there's red, there's green, there's silver. Yeah, what category were you?
so, of course, I started at the bottom. And then after my first amateur fights, they took me to the Gauteng championships and I got silver there. So I fought 2 fights there. So I went straight from the bottom with after 3 fights. Now I was silver after my third fight.
Sure. And I guess it's difficult when you're silver because you only fight championships, so you don't
Yes,
fight development fights.
yes, and that's the thing. So there's no use for me to go to the other tournaments because I get there, I train, I weigh in, but I can't fight the guys that's also starting. Although I have the same amount of fights that they have, but because I'm silver, I can't fight them. So the only fights I get is at the championships.
Sure. But Dylan, what do you think should be done to change that so that amateurs can have enough fights and have more experience? Because without that, without developing amateurs, we will never have good champions in the pro level.
Yes, yeah. So I think like at the moment there isn't plenty of tournaments that's being hosted. Most of the time it's only at the start of the year it's basically like 1 to 2 a month, if there's 2 a month, only before the championships. And then after the championships and the essays at the end of the year, there isn't like maybe 4 to 5 events after July in the after the essays. So I feel like there isn't enough tournaments for the guys to have a chance to come and fight. And if there is tournaments, it's mostly the guys that already have fights
Yeah.
that they're fighting. All the new guys,
Yeah.
they don't get fights.
That is bad. So how do you keep yourself busy now if there's no fight?
So at the moment, well, for the past 2 years, I've been doing the exhibition fights, the white collars. And I mean, like, they, I fight minimum, or I can get fights minimum once a month. Like, I fought now, like 2 weeks ago, and now I'm fighting again in a week and a half.
Yeah.
It's basically 2 fights in 1 month, and that's what I'm doing now because that's the only way I can stay busy and get the experience I need for me
Yo,
if I want
yo,
to go
yo,
pro.
yo. Yeah, Dylan, thank you so much for having you in our show. And I want to close it by saying I hope Sanabo listens and change. We're not attacking Sanabo, but Sanabo has to change the way they do things. Our amateurs are not active enough, and they need to be active enough so that they can be good champions in the pro level. They can match the pro level side and international fights as well. Because when our pros perform in South Africa, they perform against themselves. They from amateur level, they perform against themselves, and as they go outside our shores, they get exposed because they didn't do enough in the amateur level. Sanabo, please do something about this. Minister, help Sanabo. It's funding that they need. Give them funding so that they can host more tournaments for our amateurs. We need more tournaments for amateurs because we need the likes of Brian Michel, Dylan Tobela, Welcome Rita, Buyani Bungu. We need those champions. And those champions were made by the development level, by the amateur level. Please do something sustainable. Minister, I hope you're listening to this and you will help Sanabo to make South Africa proud and produce champions. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you,
Thank you very
everyone.
much.